Hello there, legends. Today I'm going to be showing off a Wylder build that sends Nightreign expeditions straight to the friggin' Shadow Realm. Wylder is our poster boy for Nightreign, so it's no surprise he's an insanely fun character with a really solid toolkit. And with the correct relic setup, you can turn Wylder into an absolute beast that should be able to carry even the worst of teammates across the finish line. So Raider might be my favorite character to play in this game, but man, Wylder is not far behind. So level up your Wylder gameplay today, gentlemen, with this very solid Wylder build for Elden Ring Nightreign. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know how Wylder works. I don't think I need to give you a lecture on how the poster boy works inside Nightreign. The game's been out for long enough. Now, Wylder was a little bit harder to find tips for, but since I've done tips at the start of every single one of these videos I've done, I thought I just needed to include it. But maybe I'm not the best person to showcase this, but you do have a lot of movement tech with your grapple and also your ultimate art. So if you want maximum style points, you can use your grapple, ultimate art to change directions, and you can grapple out of that as well. You're not really going to do that because your ultimate art is very valuable, and the only reason you'd be using your ultimate art to get like an extra meter or something is to go for crazy style points. So you can do that if you want to aura farm on your friends, be my guest. But one very usable mobility bit of tech that you can use is when you jump off a ledge, and it sucks that I can't show it to you here. Maybe if I get up higher. So if I fall off here, when you jump off a ledge, you're going to roll. And then if you were running, you would continue running if you did jump off the ledge while running. But with Wylder, you're able to skip that whole roll animation completely. So if you jump off a ledge and then you grapple just before you hit the ground, jump out of it, not only do you keep your momentum, you keep your forward sprinting momentum, you're going to cover a lot more distance. It takes a little bit of practice. I still fuck it up from time to time, but when you do get it down, you feel like an absolute Giga Chad, and you're just steamrolling through expeditions very quick with the grapple, and even more if you have 2 charges of the grapple. Okay, let's move on to the main course of the video, the relics. The information that everybody wants to know. This will be timestamped. I don't care if you jump here, get this information, and then you go back to enjoying this beautiful game that is Nightreign. In fact, I'll even go one step further. I'll just show you the relics. There they are. You can see the relics before I even talk about them, just so you can get this information even faster. These 2, easily obtainable through the signboard shop. This blue one I did gamble and get lucky for, so keep that in mind, because yeah, this is a pretty tasty looking relic. And I do have another relic set up that doesn't use the Evergel relic. Maybe you're sick and tired of the Evergel meta. You're like, motherfucker, I don't need no meta, I am the meta. Whatever the reason may be, I do have another relic set up for anyone that actually wants to check out some other POIs besides Evergel. There's only really one change, and I'll get into it after we talk about this relic setup. So I have gone over the Grand Burning Scene, this particular one, because I did have it in my Raider setup. I feel like this is very strong, improved stance breaking while wielding 2 ornaments. Stamina recovers with each successful attack, very strong, and endurance +3, giving us more stamina, which is very beneficial since we are going to be jump attacking with 2 great swords at all time. We have the Evergel relic. Don't need to explain this bad boy. We all know how good this thing is. And then the last relic we're going to talk about is this Grand Drizzly Scene that I did gamble for, and I got very lucky, gentlemen. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This is a very well rolled relic. So we have more improved stance breaking while wield 2 ornaments, so that is very nice. These do stack as well, so you know you can have all 3 relics with improved stance breaking if you really wanted to. Defeating enemies fills more of the art gauge. This is so much fun. You as a Wylder are constantly going to have your ultimate art up. Every boss I go to, I've always got my ult art. Always got my ult art ready to go, and if you don't, you just got to kill a couple of enemies and she's back up. So like I said just quickly before, these 2 are easily obtainable. This one I did gamble for, so just remember that if you are trying to put something similar together. And then if you don't want to use the Evergel meta, you can just put the Wylder's urn back on, 2 red, 1 blue. I do have the Grand Drizzly Scene there. I have the Grand Burning Scene. I really like the stance breaking while wielding 2 ornaments. And then we have the Wylder's Earring, which you do get from getting the secret ending after completing the last Nightlord boss. So this is my main relic setup with the Evergel in there. And then I do like switching to this relic setup though with the Wylder's Earring, because The +1 additional character skill use, you just, like I said, you really get around the map a lot faster. For this enhanced expedition alone, having your ultimate art drop fire is going to wreck those bugs even faster. So I do kind of like this setup for the enhanced sentient pest at the moment, but let's be real, the Evergel Relic is pretty strong, and it's always nice doing a shit ton more damage. So I suppose that now brings us over to the weapons, and I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible, but man, Wylder has a spicy selection of weapons to choose from. It's just like when you walk into a new restaurant, you check the menu, it's got everything you could possibly want. That's Wylder. You really don't have that much limitation on what you can use. The only limitation you do have is what the game wants to drop you, your RNG. So I find you get Greatsword a lot. Greatswords are gonna be your bread and butter. There's some really, really good options here. I usually get the Fork Greatsword more times than none. It's got bleed on it. You got the Flamberge, which also has bleed. Power Stancing these two bad boys gets a lot of work done with that bleed status effect. Same with the Sword of Milos. Another fantastic sword. Shriek of Milos is going to lower the enemy's damage negation, so you're going to be doing more damage to them. So very, very strong greatsword. You have the Executioner's Sword. The Power of House Marias is very, very strong. Golden Order Greatsword's actually pretty good for this enhanced Sentient Pest Expedition, because when you use a charge attack, it's just going to heal that poison off you. So if you get this greatsword, you never have to worry about that poison again in that fight, which is very, very handy. But arguably the best greatsword to look out for is the Death's Poker, because of the Ash of War Ghost Flame Ignition. What you want to do is you want to just use this Ash of War and then spam a light attack so you leave a trail of Ghost Flame. Anything that stands in this Ghost Flame is going to get cooked more than your nan's chicken on a Sunday. They're going to have frostbite proccing, you're going to be doing more damage to them. It's a really, really strong Ash of War, and it works exceptionally well on bigger bosses like the Nightlord bosses. If you couldn't tell, the Greatsword category is my favorite category for Wylder. You just seem to get these weapons dropped very, very consistently. We do have the Colossal Swords. You can power stance with these if you want to. I would just two-handed these weapons because they are a bit heavier. You're a little bit slower with them, and that can feel a little bit shitty with Wylder because you're not as like face tanky as Raider. But there's some amazing choices here, like the Star Scourge Greatsword, really, really strong because of the initial attack when you are power stancing these. Obviously the Grafted Blade Greatsword, one of the strongest weapons in the friggin' game. If you get this, you are fucking set. Curved Greatswords are also pretty good. I don't get these too often, but Morgoth's Cursed Sword is very, very strong. And at the moment, especially with the Sentient Pest Enhanced version, the Magma Worm Scale Sword is very, very strong. So it all depends on your RNG. I feel like 9 times out of 10 you're going to get Greatswords. Greatswords are very strong. There's a lot of selection, a lot of variety that you have in with the Greatsword. And I think it's one of the reasons why Wylder just feels so good. He just has such a good toolkit, and he has such a variety of weapons to choose from. Every run or expedition you do with Wylder, it feels a little different. It's a little fresh every time because of the weapon choices that you do have with Wylder. It's definitely in abundance. Now moving on over to some weapon passives you should be looking out for in your expedition. Attack up while wielding 2 ornaments because we are power stancing. That's a bit of a no-brainer. Continuous HP recovery, improved attack power at full HP, improved crit hits, successive attacks, improved damage negation while at full HP, taking damage, boost damage negation, improved jump attacks, and then also improved skill attack power, which helps boost a lot of useful Ashes of War that we will be using with Wylder. Moving on over to some dormant powers you should be looking out for in your expeditions. FP restoration upon successful attacks, HP restoration upon successful attacks. Improved affinity is great, but depends on what weapons you're running and what kind of RNG you get. Improved attack power, bit of a no-brainer. Improved physical damage reduction is pretty strong. Improved stance breaking. Improved HP, stamina, and stamina recovery are all very solid for just about any character. Increase enemy damage after critical hit. Increase rune acquisition. Mainly prioritize this dormant power in day 1. After that it kind of does lose its value a little bit, but it's still pretty good to take if you want to try and hit level 15 easier. And improved dodging can also be pretty handy if you don't have anything better to take. And then last but not least, the talismans I would recommend you keep your eyes out for on your expeditions. If you want more damage, Claw Talisman's great, Dagger Talisman, Millicent's Prosthesis, Wing Sword Insignia, Warrior Jar Shard if you got some good Ashes of War you want to bloody use. And then some good defensive ones you can look out for. You've got Assassin's Crimson Dagger, Blessed Dew Talisman, Bullgoat Talisman, Crimson Medallion, Viridian Medallion, Erdtree Favor, Godskin Cloth, pretty good at giving you HP back on successful attack, Dragon Crest Shield, Ritual Shield Talisman, and then also the Assassin's Cerulean Dagger. Alright, that's basically it for this build video, guys. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I kind of jam some extra information in there. I hope I didn't make this video any longer than it needed to be, because you don't need to listen to my voice any longer than you have to. Let me know what you think about this Wylder build in the comment section below. Are you using a similar relic setup? Are you using something different? Let me know. I'm always keen to hear your guys' thoughts. I am a big Raider enjoyer, but recently I've been playing the crap out of Wylder. He's just such a fun character. Really cool toolkit, really good mobility in his toolkit. The alt art, let's be real, is much better than Raiders. Raiders' big block can definitely get in the way more times than none. It is still a good alt, but the Wylder's alt is much easier to use, and it isn't going to hinder your teammates when you use it. Appreciate all the love and support as always, guys, and until next time, stay safe, peace out.